What's up, family? Gerald the Bossman here. You're tuned into the Bossman Show on AM 1010, AM 1430, 1055 The King. Let the King out at 105theking.com and the Bossman Show at bossmanshow.com. Hit me up on Instagram, The Bossman Show, Twitter at Bossman Show, and Facebook, Bossman Show. It's the Bossman on your radio.
Listen to the Bossman Show with your host, JR, Saturdays at 9 a.m. right here on AM 1010, The King.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.
Yes, BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV, covering content and hot topics from A to Z, sports, music, society and culture, movie reviews, you name it, we have it. Check it out on bs3network.com or check us out on Roku, BS3 TV on Roku, as well as check out your favorite podcast on all podcast platforms or Spreaker.com/BS3 Network.
You are now tuned to BS3 Network.
Bossman Show. Special guest with me, Florida State Seminoles head coach Loucks, who I talked off there about. We share some common bonds here, man, with the Atlanta, man. I had to read on my birthday, man. So he's here with me on the Bossman Show. Luke, good to see you, brother. How life as the head coach of your alma mater, man?
Man, first of all, appreciate you having me on. Being the head coach here at Florida State is a dream come true. You know, coming back to Tallahassee, where obviously I played for 4 years under Leonard Hamilton. We had a lot of success, a lot of good teams. Won the ACC championship, like you said, on your birthday in Atlanta. And just had overall great 4 years, 4 NCAA tournaments, won a lot of games here, but also for my family, man. My wife was a swimmer here at Florida State. Both of us grew up in Florida. So to come back and show our kids, you know, where we met and where our life really took a turn for the better, is really, really surreal being back. And then obviously getting to do something I love every day and coaching basketball and helping these young guys reach their dreams.
No doubt, Luke. I'm asking you, man, on my birthday that day, 2012, man, 13 assists, man, the most in championship history at the time, man. So talk about that, man, just coming out there playing so well, getting everybody involved and all working for you. I was at that game, so I remember I was there. I was a young radio dude then, but I was there very, very well.
Yeah, no, that was a fun game, man. We for whatever reason, we just had Carolina's number that year. The night before, we beat a really, really good Duke team. And they had a heck of a team too, man. And then obviously playing Carolina in the ACC championship game. They had, I don't know how many pros on that team, but so much. Actually, I ended up coaching Harrison Barnes with the Sacramento Kings, so I got to rub a little dirt in when I saw him again because he was on that team. They had so many pros on that team, man. But we had an older team, which always helps at this level. We had a lot of experience, a lot of age, a lot of toughness, and guys made shots, man. Everyone talks about my 13 assists that game. That doesn't happen if guys aren't making shots. All of our shooters were hitting. Our big guys were rolling and finishing everything I dished to them. So that was a great game and a historic game for Florida State, winning our first ACC title. And I was just so happy and fortunate to be a part of it.
Look, I'm ask you about a friend of mine who lives on the street from me. Tongue and Doug was one of your teammates. Tell me about TD, how it was to play with him. I know he's still playing ball in Europe, even still this day, man. So I was playing with my guy, TD, up the street from me.
TD, a lot of NBA guys call him Tada. Just a great dude, man. He was a senior when I was a freshman, and he was an all ACC. Some say, I would say he should have won ACC Player of the Year that year. But just had an unbelievable knack for scoring the basketball and defensively, all defensive performer. Played quite a while, a number of years in the NBA for a couple different teams. Just had an unbelievable career, but he's a great dude, man. One of the teammates that always had a smile on his face. He was an ultra competitor, but also balanced that with just being a really good teammate and a good dude. I actually texted with him this morning, so he said he's got one more year left of playing. It was his dream to always play until he was 40 years old, and he turns 40 this year. So one of those guys that just has an unbelievable career and one of Florida State's finest competitors.
Yeah, I'm a few months older than TD, so we're both born in the same 86. So a few months older than TD is, yeah, man. But it's that Southside Atlanta connection we have, man. Clayco, I'm in Henry County, so we've
Yep.
always been cool for years, man. It was Harry went to Falcons, his brother Harry too, so still cool with that with him as well. So they have a great family, man. I love going at their foundation every Christmas time.
No, their pops did a great job building that up, and the cool part when Tony played here as a senior, his brother Harry was his career was taking off with the Atlanta Hawks. I'm sorry, the Atlanta Falcons. And what was cool is they would have a bye week, and Harry would come to town, and so we would be watching him on Sundays. And then the next thing you know, he's sitting in our living room hanging out with us. And he would bring some of his teammates. They would hoop with us. It was just a really cool thing for me as a freshman to go through. Like, dang, this is pretty cool, man. I get to play with Tony Douglas, one of the best college basketball players in America, and his brother's playing on Sundays and hanging out with us on the bye weeks. So it was pretty cool, man.
A pretty cool story, Luke, was like they had a Douglas Brothers Foundation event. I'm dressed up, so I'm out there hooping with these dudes and say Stacey Adams. I think he thinks so.
Yeah, I love it. That's great.
So it was a fun day we had. He was Harold with the Titans then. Tony, I think, was with the Knicks at the time. So yeah, it was a fun event. But it was like, said, "Come on, man!" I was out there, Stacey Adams sliding up and down the floor, but I was out there, man.
That's great. That's great.
Yes, indeed. Well, let me ask you, Luke, man, for you, this summer for you, what you've been a new head coach here, how's it been for us trying to structure practices here? Has it been mostly team stuff, or is individual drills mixed in? Or we're trying to let guys play to figure out what do you have with having a whole new team?
Yeah, both. Before we even got to practice, obviously, you got to build your staff. You got to get your feet under the ground. You got to hit the recruiting trail. And then the portal opened, I think, probably 15, 20 days into the job. So we had to prepare for that. We signed 6 or 7 guys out of the portal, which I thought we did a heck of a job in terms of the style we want to play and just the brand of basketball we want to have at Florida State. Going to get guys that fit that, going to get guys that we believe could have a tremendous career here and beyond, So we got 6 seniors. We signed a couple freshmen, and then we filled in our roster. So that was fun. That was a lot of fun to put that together like quickly. Is you get the job and you got to hit the ground running. But then getting into the workouts and practice, the biggest thing I want to accomplish a few things. I want every player this is our last week of working out this week, but I want every player to leave Florida State on their summer break here for the next few weeks feeling like individually they improved, right? Their skills got better, their conditioning got better, they got stronger, they got faster, they got more agile, all of those things, which eventually will help them be better basketball players. So I think we did a good job of that. And then number 2, I want them to have a feel and an understanding for the way we want to play, right? We want to play super fast. We want to share the ball. We want to be gritty and tough defensively and difficult to score on. And then what goes into that? And can we train on those things every day? And I thought our staff did an incredible job. Our players did an incredible job, not only grasping what we were teaching them, what we were coaching them, but taking it and running with it. So I'm really excited about this team. I feel like we got a good combination of age, experience, toughness, and a ton of skill. We got a ton of shooting, a ton of versatility, and a ton of guys that can make a lot of different plays on the court.
And Luke, with your just been in the NBA with Golden State and with the Warriors, talk about showing the young men about that prehab and that rehab and that rest and recovery piece that's so important. But you having a long season, them a little bit younger dudes than the NBA dudes was around. But you got to go from November to March, hopefully deep into April, to go to the Final Four, about having this in your body now in July, in August and September, so you can be on that grind and play the way you want to play and be healthy and not be dealing with nagging injuries all year long because you didn't condition yourself the right way.
Yeah, one of the best abilities is availability. You can't produce if you can't play. Part of that, like you said, is the work that we're doing right now when no eyes are on you, right? And the dark gyms and the early mornings and the late nights, those things you have to develop a resiliency, both physically, mentally, and skill wise that you're ready for the rigors of the season, and our guys have done a good job of that. There's a certain conditioning aspect on your body and a toll on your body with the way we're going to play and the speed we're going to play at. Similar to the NBA is not you play for 2 hours and then you go on with your day. It is a 24-hour a day job where your rest is very important. Your recovery is very important. Your stretching, like you said, your prehab, all those things that get you ready to play. You can't flip the switch, not at this level. And that's something that our guys are maybe not used to being accustomed to that. Where a lot of our staff is coming from the NBA, so we're helping them with that. Guys, if we want to be the fastest team in America, you can't turn that on in November and December and then expect the results in March. That starts now, and we're going to turn this game into a track meet. You gotta get your body used to working at a certain pace that it's not used to right now. So far this summer, we've had a really good summer of conditioning. The guys have put on a good amount of strength in the weight room. They're working their tails off, and I'm really pleased with where we're at.
No doubt. And like you said, Luke, you come from the NBA. A lot of these guys want to be in the NBA. And how does that help you in recruiting, knowing that you and your staff are NBA guys, and this is where these guys want to go to clinical basketball, and you can help get them there because you've been there, been around some of the best in the world, the greatest in the world. You know how Steph Curry works or Draymond Green works, and you can tell them how to achieve that goal by being around those guys.
Yeah, so that's the key thing, like you said, in recruiting. Everyone wants to get to the NBA. It's the pinnacle of our sport, right? And to me those guys deserve every penny they get because they put on a show night in and night out, and they do it at such a high level with skill and grace and competitiveness that everyone wants to play at that level. But what does it take, right? And for us and our staff, we know what it takes because we've been there. Majority of my coaching staff's coming from the NBA. And a lot of us have been with really successful teams in the NBA where we've seen it done, right? And to me, my goal when I recruit these kids is not, I can't promise they're going to get to the NBA. What I can promise them is I'm going to train them to absolutely maximize whatever potential they have, and wherever they land, that's where they land. But I hope for each and every guy I recruit that they have a chance and a swing at the NBA. But not only that, how do you stick, right? So many guys get there and they think they made it and they're out as quick as they got in, right? How do you stick to that second, third, fourth contract where you can actually make life-changing money, but also just compete with the best players in the world for a long time? So that's what we try to instill in our guys from day one, not just our recruits, but the guys we have now of, listen, that we can't promise you anything, but what we can do is we're gonna treat you like professionals. We're gonna train you like professionals, so that when you get there, this is like another Wednesday for you. Obviously the talent's gonna go up, the skill is gonna go up. You're gonna be playing grown men, but you're used to training in this style of in this basketball philosophy and the style of play that all of this field, there's a familiarity with it.
No doubt, Luke. And by playing fast, I love watching what Indiana does. They play out of concepts and reads. It's not like we're calling a set. It's like a concept and a read, teaching guys how to take the defense is shaking this way, do this. So how about teaching the guy the mental aspect of the game? Using the film where you teach them about the concepts and reads to make you make sure you can play fast, not overthink the game and let the game kind of work for you.
Yeah. To me, the best offensive teams have the ability to execute, right? You got to have the ability to execute, but the majority of the game is not played within play calls. You can execute a play and maybe it leads to an advantage, but what do you do with that advantage? And that's where you got to have the reps, not only in practice, but in your workouts that mimic game-like situations where the game of basketball is 70-80% played outside of whatever play call happens, right? So how do you cut, right? What's proper spacing, right? If this guy's dribbling towards you, what do? Do you replace behind him? Do you cut back door? All of those things, some of which we can help structure, but some of, like you're saying, is a feel, right? It's a read and react. It's what is my teammate doing? How do I react from that to put the defense in constant situations where they're at a disadvantage? And then on top of that, right, you can always gain an advantage offensively through different things, screen setting, cutting, diving, your pace, different spacing options, but all of those things, what do you do with the advantage? Can you knock down a shot, right? Can you shoot at a high level? Can you finish through contact, right? Can you make your free throws? Those are the things to me that were championship level teams. If you break it down to the minutia of what actually goes into winning, those are the teams that actually win. Is you can create an advantage, and then you know how to take advantage of it and actually execute whatever you're doing and knock down those open shots that were created.
And Luke, looking at your roster, man, it's very versatile defensively. You can do a lot of different coverages that you want to run. You can hard head some, you can stunt some, you can blitz, you can ice, what you want to do. Talk about when you build your roster defensive thing about how you can be multiple and defensively so you're not stuck just doing one thing. We can do multiple coverages and cause defense conflict that way and make teams take tough shots, and you can get out in the transition and run and get easy break points early.
Right. No, you hit on the head. I fully believe the best defenses are versatile. You have a lot of positional size and length. There's going to be certain things in our defense that are constant. When you talk about our defense philosophy, the ball pressure will be constant, right? Protecting our paint will be constant. Not allowing open 3-point shots will be constant. Not putting opponents on the foul line, right? Playing defense without fouling, but there has to be a certain physicality, right? So walking that fine line of physicality without putting teams on the free throw line is sometimes tough to learn. Those things will be night in and night out. But when it comes to tactics and strategy, I fully believe in a chaotic defensive style that keeps the offense on their heels, right? The best defenses disrupt offenses. And they do that constantly. And so some of that will be switching up defensive schemes because we have the personnel to execute a lot of different defensive schemes. Like you mentioned, we can play man-to-man, we can play zone, we can switch, we can blitz, keep the ball on the sideline, we force the middle with extra help. All of those things our guys will be able to learn and execute on the fly, depending on our opponent and how we may be able to take advantage of some of their weaknesses.
Got two more for you, Luke. One on being scheduling games, man. So I know a lot of schedules probably done for you when you get out there. So what you taking over the scheduling going forward? How you going to post non-con to get your guys prepared for that tough 18-game ACC slate?
Yeah, the biggest thing, and a lot of people probably call me a little crazy. As a competitor, I want to play the best teams. You know, I want to face up, and that's why we scheduled Houston. You know, we're going to play Houston at the Toyota Center. You know, where the Houston Rockets play, because to me, Kelvin Sampson is one of the best coaches in college basketball. He's taken his teams to the Final Four. They're a tough team that really understands how to play. And to me, they're at where we want to get. And so I want to line those teams up and at minimum see where we're at, right? And to me, the only way to get to the level I want to bring Florida State to is to play some of those teams and really go up against the best. So we have a great non-conference schedule that's super competitive. And aside from that, the type of kid we're recruiting, I would hope they would want to play against the best. I've never found a lot of joy of beating cupcake teams by 40 points. I just don't think it's a great way to sharpen your team and get ready for postseason play. Now, some of those games are necessary, and you got to play a certain number of them just for scheduling. You can't play the best team in America every game, but we are playing some really tough games. We got Georgia, we got Florida, we got Houston, we got Texas A&M. We're playing at Dayton. So there's going to be some real challenges across of our schedule outside of ACC play, which I think the ACC is going to be much improved this year with the investment a lot of these universities are making into basketball.
That's one for you. Get you on the phone with Luke. On this show, we love to talk about food here. So what's some cool? We come to watch you all play in Tallahassee. What's some cool food spots to eat down there when we come down there and see you play, man?
Oh man, there's so many good food spots. I know I'm gonna miss a lot of them. Tallahassee is a great food town, man. It's not Atlanta. Atlanta's got some real good food, but Tallahassee, especially for a college town, we got some great food. Being the capital of Florida, we got some great food options. I love a little place called Gordo's. It's a little Cuban spot, a little lunch spot. They got great Cuban food. There's a place called Charlie Park that's doing a really good job. They're more of a rooftop lounge, but they have great food. Midtown Caboose has a great burger. There are so many good spots. Madison Social is like the college town. Madison Social and Bowden's are like the college town bars, but for bars they have great food, man. But we're really fortunate and blessed in town to just have some great food options that I've already put on some pounds. I got to get on the treadmill and start running some of these lunches off, man. Some of these recruiting dinners, they're weighing on me, man. But yeah, we're lucky, fortunate, blessed to call Tallahassee home and eat some good eats, man.
Luke, man, thank you for coming on the show today, man. I'm happy for you at this job, man. It's good to connect with you, knowing that I was there at your special game on my birthday, man. So it's good to connect with you on that again, man. I look forward to cheering you on. We play Georgia Tech. Hopefully, I can see. Hopefully, the Hawks aren't playing and we're on the road. So I can see you come there and cheer you on to Georgia Tech, man. Make sure you leave Cambridge with a dub, brother.
I appreciate it, JR. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It was fun, man.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.
Yes, BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV, covering content and hot topics from A to Z, sports, music, society and culture, movie reviews, you name it, we have it. Check it out on bs3network.com or check us out on Roku, BS3 TV on Roku, as well as check out your favorite podcast on all podcast platforms or Spreaker.com/BS3 Network.
You are now tuned to BS3 Network.
What's up, family? Gerald the Bossman here. You're tuned into the Bossman Show on AM 1010, AM 1430, 1055 The King. Let the King out at 105theking.com and the Bossman Show at bossmanshow.com. Hit me up on Instagram, The Bossman Show, Twitter at Bossman Show, and Facebook, Bossman Show. It's the Bossman on your radio.
Listen to The Bossman Show with your host, JR, Saturdays at 9 a.m. right here on AM 1010, The King.